Ashley, and I am super excited that you're here with us today. Will you please tell us about yourself and a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So I'm Ellie Hirsch, and I'm the founder of mommymasters.com. It's a business that was inspired by my three boys. They are 5, 9, and 11. And when I became a parent, like everything in my life clicked. I never really knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I'd like to do, but there was no exact job description. So whether it was advertising sales I worked on, or entertainment in the talent agency industry, I worked with abused kids. I loved every element of what I did, but what do you call that? So Mommy Masters was born actually when my second son was born. I was not working at the time. I was on maternity leave, and I wanted to get new moms together to talk about how tired we were, and just an open forum to everyone to feel comfortable, because you're stuck in your house and you have no one to talk to, and it can get really depressing and lonely. So with my advertising background, every time we had a meetup, I would get an advertiser to sponsor us, whether it was an awesome baby product or coupons. So I always had that business mind, even when I was on maternity leave, and it was called Mommy Masters. So after that, everybody went back to work, and life continued. I ended up leaving my job because it just took too much time. My husband travels, and it was just absolutely insane. So I wanted to just be a mom. Quickly after that, I realized that, motherhood sort of inspired me to start writing about my experiences. And I said, what should I call it? And I remember looking up in my office at my corkboard, and there was that flyer for the Mommy Masters group. So it was really organic. And one day I said, I'm just going to start a blog. I'm going to write about my experiences. I want to share it. If anybody reads it, great. If no one reads it, fine. And I started. And, Mommy Masters is all about teaching women how to master motherhood, which, by the way, means something different to every mother. Totally. I never tell a parent how to parent. I give you guys the tools to do so. Because, one mother might think mastering motherhood is getting home in time to give her kids a kiss before they go to bed.
Sure.
Another mom's example is to have dinner on the table. Another mom is just simply to shower for the day. I mean, it's so different for everybody. We can't judge anybody else. We have our own parenting journeys. And I wanted women to never feel alone. So I offer unique parenting tips, tricks, and tools. And the brand of Mommy Masters has grown. So first it was just writing articles on my site as well as others, sharing my experiences, but also not just telling people the color of my son's poop, but, actually saying, here's what I did, here's the mistakes I made, here's some, tips, tricks, and tools that you can use and apply it to your own motherhood. And then while I was doing that, I started my children's CD. I've always been a writer, always been a singer, and I used to sing rhymes to my boys. And so we'd have play dates. And then the kids would get back to their house, and their mom would be like, what's the song my son is, singing? And, it sort of spread. And I thought, I have to create a CD. Like, what an amazing thing to leave behind for my kids, for myself.
Totally.
So that was like my first real goal. I wrote every song. They're all educational, whether it's potty training, the first day of school, manners, cleaning up. And every song is a different genre. So you have rap and techno. Because, I'm a mom, but doesn't mean I'm not cool. And I still blare my radio and
right.
Now when I pull into the parking lot. But I am bopping out. And kids love that. But, the music today is not appropriate. So I wanted them to love the sounds and the beats and the melodies. And I wanted parents also to love it.
Right.
But I wanted it to obviously be relatable to kids and teach a lesson. So it won a Parents' Choice Award in 2013, which, that validation, it was so special to me. And so that, I said, what's my next goal? So my next goal after that was to get into television. Which as a little girl, I used to want to be Jane Pauley. I'd write fake, news reports and sit in front of animals and talk about it. So that was one element of when I was younger that I was able to incorporate. So I ended up doing a bunch of television segments. It's been years now. I work with many stations, and whether they need content or they're looking for a parenting expert. I absolutely love being on camera. I love being behind the camera and figuring it all out and just reaching people via television and helping moms.
Yeah.
And after that, I started to work with other brands actually, because
Cool.
I found that, it's a pretty unique concept. I already have a platform of moms. So
Right.
instead of a company spending the time and money to try to reach that target market, it
Totally.
exists in Mommy Masters. So I never work with anybody I don't believe in. And as a mom, if I like it, someone else is going to like it most
Right.
often. So I work with different brands. So Mommy Masters has just become, a lot of everything. It's a one-stop shop.
Sounds like a plethora of knowledge with
It is.
tons of things.
Yes, but I never planned that. It was sort of like, let me just start a blog and then the CD. And, I think when you're talking to an entrepreneur or a mompreneur, it's great to have a goal, but once you reach that goal, keep growing. I mean,
Right.
things happen organically, and that's the way it should happen.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm so lucky to do what I do. And I'm so passionate about motherhood, parenting.
I was just going to use the word passion.
Yeah.
Your passion drives you to the next place.
Yes.
You say it grow organically. Absolutely. Because if once you feel like you're stalled or you're hung up on something, you should be gathering new ideas from the things that you grow passion from.
Absolutely. And being a mom of 3 boys, I never run out of content to talk about or write about. And I try to use humor basically, because if you can't laugh at yourself in your day, then you're just going to cry, which is fine. But the whole idea between myself and Mommy Masters is being real, being honest, being relatable. If you're having a really bad day, it's okay. Tell somebody about it.
Right.
There's no perfect parent and no perfect child. And one of the secrets that I share with women and men too, we can't forget about the dads, is that in order to succeed at parenting or any business, it's about failing. And people are like, I don't want to be a failure. It's okay. It doesn't label you a failure. It labels you as human. Mm-hmm. So one day you're a mommy master and the next day you're a mommy disaster. Totally fine. Call your friend, complain to her or whomever, but don't be shy about it. Like, don't be embarrassed because you had a bad day. Kids have bad days. We have bad days. So it's all of those elements that have grown into the brand.
I think the need to strive for perfection nowadays is insane. Yes. I turn bright red when I talk a lot, and I was at a conference, and one of the speakers, Jesse Itzler, he said, "Own your embarrassments." Nobody really knows that you're embarrassed. You're the only one who knows you're embarrassed.
Right.
And so it's the same concept of, well, I ran into him and I was talking to him and he's like, use it as your barometer of how excited you are. Like, how red are you going to get? And I was like, that makes so much sense. And nobody else is going to judge me for it. So the perfection needs to be taken out and just confess your flaws, because it makes you a better person in the long run.
It's true. And also, you never know, but your failures and your embarrassments or whatever it is, might help somebody. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget and got an email, and this was a long time ago, from a woman. And she said, you're letting me know you had a bad day. And I think I was maybe crying on a video or something. She's like, you made my whole day. Like, I have no one to talk to. And, that made me feel, that is a paycheck to me. I mean, we could talk, building up money and all that stuff. But to me, that was like, wow, if I could reach one mom and make her feel okay, then I've done my job. And
totally, because you're not just doing it for a financial aspect, you're doing it for self-fulfillment and accomplishment for yourself. And that makes you it makes you want to do it more and be more successful for people.
Oh, I mean, I think we all know in motherhood, your paycheck is the hugs and the kisses and the I love you and all that. And so, in your business, you don't start out making money, it takes a long time, but if your passion is there, that's what will drive you, and people will see that, and that'll help you build your business for sure.
Absolutely. So what initial challenges do you feel like were your biggest obstacles when you first started jumping into the blog and then development?
Well, sure. I mean, I had no clue what I was doing. One day I'm like, I'm going to start a blog. So I put in the time and I literally researched how to write a blog. I taught myself a little bit of coding, enough to, do the things I needed to do. I joined blogging groups. I was out and about. I put myself out there. I didn't care if I failed or looked silly or what have you. I asked questions, and you'll find that people are really, really helpful.
Totally.
And So what I have learned in my business, I try to give back. So every month I choose a Mommy Master of the Month, and it's usually a mompreneur, somebody that started their own business. They don't have budgets to, get PR. So it's a completely free service. I write an article about them and spread the word on social media. And because so many people have helped me, I want to give back. Because when you're first starting, you have no idea what you're doing. You have no money to really help you. And so to overcome that, it's like, how do you get yourself out there without paying for it? So I learned how to barter. I learned that, if I offer my writing services and my parenting advice, maybe somebody would, let me write for them. And then I would be able to say, wow, I wrote for this particular website. Or if people had products they wanted me to review. I mean, I'm a mom. I was a mom of very young kids at the time. So, what I have to say was true and honest and real. They would give me free products, and it was great. Awesome. I still sometimes barter with people. So I think it's understanding and being realistic. Rome wasn't built in a day, as cliche as that is. It's so true. But you have to just keep at it and willing to get out there and meet as many people as possible, go to events, join different social media groups that will help you, and ask questions. I mean, that's how you learn.
Absolutely. I think the fear of failure in people drives them to not push as hard, or one obstacle sets them back instead of moves it forward. I'm very new at being an entrepreneur. I've always been in a structured environment. I'm a nurse. So I'm thinking outside the box. I was so worried about failing, but then I came very quickly to the conclusion of, who cares? Like, that's the only way I'm going to learn. Yep. I'm a very tactical learner. Like, I have to be doing it to understand it. So obviously if you don't do it, then you're not going to learn from it. So it is what it is. You can always use it as a tool, and you can always give advice on it later.
So true. And you even just trying a business is such an inspiration to other women. And that's the idea behind the Mommy Master of the Month. If that article goes out and people are like, wow, she has 3-4 kids or 1 kid or whatever, and she's starting this business, maybe I can do that.
Right.
And, there's so many women who have so many great ideas, and they're so afraid to start because A, they don't know what they're doing, and B, they're afraid to look silly or whatever. But, I mean, it's really an inspiration to women, because I just say, go for it. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, totally. I've been doing my business since 2010, and it's taken a long time to build. However, when I look back, I mean, it's just amazing, the growth and all the different things that I've learned and I can do. And I never thought I'd be doing some of the things I'm doing today. So it's pretty cool.
I think I think just hearing the common denominator of, you can do whatever you want to do as long as you just do it.
Yep.
I've heard from many of the speakers that I've been speaking with, it's just about a matter of literally doing it. Say yes to yourself, put on your boots and get it done, because that's the only way you're going to see it. And for myself, I love instant gratification. So seeing the big picture obviously is going to take a little while, but taking these steps to put myself outside of the box and interview you is major. I mean, it's intimidating, it's nerve-wracking, but when it comes down to it, it is what it is, and you just got to roll with it. I think I was such a planner before my son. I mean, ridiculous planner, like type A all the way. Now that I have him, it's whatever.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm the same way, and I'm a very big planner as well. In fact, with my first son, I had a full-time job. I worked from home, but I had a full-time nanny and stuff. And I was in my office from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. with a 1-hour lunch break. I mean, it was like no joke. I had to make sure he was asleep by 1 o'clock. And, now that I have 3 kids, it's like, and it just has to be. And that's how I balance it all. I try not to just be hard on myself. And every woman, I teach women how to balance it all, but I don't want to mistake that for, you can balance it all. You can, but not every day. I mean, and that's okay. But when you're an entrepreneur or a mompreneur, for example, yes, I have my business, but I still have to make sure the fridge is stocked, and I still have to make sure that my kids have, clothes to wear that fit, and, all the other things. The soap doesn't fill itself, and the ice maker doesn't turn on by itself. So it's trying to balance all those things. So working from home can be challenging for some people, because it's so easy to turn on the TV and lay in bed. And people's misconception, that has been a huge challenge for me. I used to have a boss that used to ask me if I was in my pajamas. And it was like, kind of strange. Just because you work from home doesn't mean you don't work. In fact, the fact that I work from home, I work all the time. I never stop. So I'll get up at 5 a.m. sometimes and work before the kids get up. I'll work at night because there's never enough hours. So I try to create those hours. But it is a challenge. Sometimes you have to prove yourself because people think that you work from home and you can do this. And yes, of course it's great. Yes, I can throw a load of laundry in, but I'm sitting here and I'm working, and it doesn't really matter what other people think. You can't compare yourself. Same with motherhood. Even though the woman down the street looks so put together, her kids have the best clothes, for all you know, she fed her kids like chocolate chips for breakfast, hasn't done laundry in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So you just can't compare yourself. But that is a really hard challenge, actually, especially when I first started to work from home, is, are you in your pajamas? You don't really work. So I would suggest that if you do work from home, get out of bed, shower, as if you're going to a job, I mean, you don't have to be as strict, but regiment yourself at first, at least, so that you feel your mindset matches, what you're wearing and how you feel. Because that can be a challenge. I mean, now it's more popular, but when I started a million years ago, it was a challenge. I was the only one that worked from home in my job. So I had to prove myself. But, if you work from home, there's benefits for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a give take. I have people, because I'm still working at the hospital, to the point where they don't understand why I why do I want to be at home? And I'm like, well, you have a better work-life balance.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like it'd be way more stressful to be working at home.
Yeah, everyone's
the distraction level.
I have, some women I know are like, I could never just be a mom. I would go crazy. And then I have other women that are like, I can't imagine not being able to pick up my kids. So, there's so many different kinds of moms, and there's so many different kinds of entrepreneurs. But I think if you have passion and you have goals set for yourself, and I'm talking like even daily goals, so maybe one day you say, today I'm going to write. I'm just going to write in my blog, and that's it. Tomorrow I'm going to make phone calls and set some new goals for myself and target some new brands. And then maybe Wednesday I do billing and filing and sort of plan out my calendar. And, sometimes you're not going to get through everything, but if you have some sort of structure, and everybody's different. I happen to be really organized, so I like to follow through. And, Friday comes like this and you're like, but, it's challenging, but, your office is right in your house or wherever, so you can work and get it done.
So how do you structure your hours, or do you even attempt to do that? Or how do you stick to making sure that list gets done?
So every morning after I drop the kids off, I start my day with my workout. I have to work out. It's my therapy. It just makes me feel really good about myself, gets me going, gets my blood pumping. So that's the first thing I do. And then I come back to my house and I work. So I'll work for a few hours. And like I said, I'll set certain goals for myself. Maybe Monday I write for my blog. Maybe, today I'm reaching out to new businesses or following up with people, or checking local groups if there's any opportunities, things like that, finding content. And I'll work for a few hours. And then if I want to take a break, throw a load of laundry in, maybe I have to go to the supermarket. Maybe I want to organize something. Maybe I'm not feeling creative at that time. I have no problem getting up and switching gears. Okay. And then I'll go back and work again for a couple hours, and then I'll pick up the kids. And then when they go to bed, I sort of work again. And you don't have to structure yourself like that, but I really enjoy what I do. So I actually in the morning can't wait to get up and go to work and and I think that's true for a lot of entrepreneurs because it's something they've created and they're passionate about. Right. But if you don't do that stuff, no one else is going to be as passionate about your business.
Right.
And I think people will see that. And so that'll help you grow your business. But I'm pretty flexible. I'm not really hard on myself like I used to be when people gave me a hard time about working from home. But I managed to get everything done. And some days you're going to wake up and you're not going to feel well. Just like kids are in a bad mood. You're not going to feel like, what you planned out. So maybe you switch gears. But I definitely, I try not to really go out to lunch. Like I have a lot of friends that like to do that, and I would, but I'd almost be thinking I really need to go home and work. Like that, I want to do it. So for me, I enjoy doing it. So it just depends, but set daily goals for yourself, but also be realistic. And if you don't finish them, it's okay, but make sure you are working on them. Otherwise, it'll start to pile up and you'll go insane.
Right.
Yeah.
Number one thing that you could give advice for a new entrepreneur, other than the things that we've covered. I know that you've given so much information.
Yeah. God, it's hard to choose just one, but I would say be realistic. It takes a lot of work. And some people don't really realize that. I was up till 2 a.m. trying to learn coding and all that. It takes a lot of work, a lot of research, a lot of putting yourself out there. It's not going to be built in one day, like I said before. So just make sure you're ready to work, ready to talk to people, put yourself out there. And of course, obviously the idea of, failing. If people say no to you, use that as motivation to find another yes. I truly believe that if somebody says no, why no, and understand, and maybe there is a good reason and you can learn from it, but sometimes there's a yes behind there. So, don't get discouraged. Business, motherhood, it's like this. One day you're on top of the world and you feel great. You're like, I'm the best mom, or, my business is booming. I'm so excited. When it rains, it pours. And then the next day you're like, I don't know. I'm feeling down. I feel like nothing good is happening today. My kids are not behaving, not motivated to do work. Allow yourselves to have those days. Appreciate the good, and also appreciate the bad, because without the bad ones, you wouldn't have good ones. Just be patient and take your time, educate yourself, and put in the work. Because if you don't put in the work, if it was that easy to be an entrepreneur, everybody would do it and they'd be good at it. So just, be willing to take advice from other people and just go with the flow and let your passion lead you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My brain is like, I have so many things that I need to write down. So many notes. Thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to get this out to our viewers. This is amazing information. Even though it's a short mom-friendly interview, it's still like the plethora of stuff that I've been getting is just awesome. So I can't wait to share it. So I thank you very much.
Yeah. And, people can email me at info@mommymasters.com. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Awesome.
They can also visit me at mommymasters.com and of course on social media. And again, go for it. Do it today. Today's the day.
Yes. Today is the day.